All right. Hello, everyone. So thank you for coming here. This is my first talk, so I'm a bit stressed, but should be fine. So it's also a bit of a challenge because I choose to do my first talk in English. I'm not English speaker. I'm French, as maybe some of you guessed by my strong accent. I'm really happy to be here. I'd like to thank everyone, and especially Bartol, who invited me. So that's super nice to know that when you do open source, people think about you, and sometimes they want to give you back something. So he invited me, and I get to go to Amsterdam for the first time. So this is a great city. So thank you, everyone, once again. If during the talk or after the talk you have any question, or when this is all over you want to talk, don't hesitate to come to me. I'll give you all the Twitter and everything just after this. When I prepared this talk, I noticed something with my company logo. So I work for Brigade. It's a company that connects hospitality professionals to businesses and provide a way for them to find work or to find workers. We are based in Paris, but we also have other cities in France, and we also work in London. And I noticed something with our logo, so it looks a bit like some other logo, which is Charge Trip. So I don't know who stole it, but there's something going on. So yeah, so about me. I'm Thibault Malbranche. You can get my Twitter, GitHub, my email. I'm specialist, front-end mobile, whatever, like all these titles don't mean anything anyway. I'm still full-stack developer on LinkedIn, no one cares. And whatever. And so also I'm a React Native core contributor, which does not mean like, there's no definition of what this is. To me, being like contributor means helping to manage the community. Maybe some of you know, React Native is open source by Facebook, but they don't do anything with it. They just use it from master, and they let the community handle the release. So you need to have people like managing all this. And so I'm in charge of doing all the NPM stuff for all the React Native community packages. And I also manage and help people get on we have a Discord for like all the community members that want to like exchange information. So I do all that, and also, as Bartol said, I maintain the WebView. So I started React Native 2 years ago, so not so long ago. And before that, I only had like 6 months in iOS, 6 months on Android. But only these 6 months already helped me a lot, because React Native, it's only JavaScript until there's an issue, and then you have to dig. And then that's a big, big issue. So it helped me a lot when there was problems. So let's talk about React Native WebView. So WebView was terrible 2 years ago, I agree. We needed to use it in our app. And what I did was take 2 forks, because Android upload was not working, so people could not upload files, and the bridge was to communicate between React Native, and the WebView was also not working, so I just tried to merge 2 code together, take some native code from here, paste it somewhere. It ended up working, but I still don't know how. And now I'm maintaining React Native WebView, so I don't know how I ended up here. But 1 year ago, someone told me, hey, we're taking WebView out of React Native because Facebook does not use it. And so they are not merging any pull requests. They're just not reviewing any stuff. And they're starting this lean core effort, which is removing all the components that are not like essential to every React Native application. And they want to start with WebView because they really want to get this out of React Native. And this way they can focus on like all the issues that are on core and core only. And so React Native WebView was extracted 1 year ago, around like 1 year ago exactly. So since then there's been 98 releases and more than 87 contributors. So 1 year, I think that's pretty good job from all the community. So thanks everyone, maybe one of you helped. So the idea between this was to prove that we can count on the community to iterate on the project, so that's great. So why did I use WebView? Because React Native, like, that's funny, like, the first person I talked to tonight came to me and said, I came to this meetup because I did not understand what you meant by communicating between React Native and WebView. Who would do that? Like, what's the point of having a WebView inside a React Native app? Because you're trying to use web language to do native code and then put WebView inside? That makes no sense. And I was like, yeah. So our idea behind it was we already had a website. It was fully responsive. And so we were like, we need an app because we want to send push notifications, and then we will want to add native screens. And so how to create an app in like 1 week? You just put a shell, like an empty shell, and put a website in it, and you get an app. So that's why we started wanting to use a WebView. And then we just said, OK, so we have React. Let's use React Native, JavaScript on both sides. We can start sharing code. We can start like having all the helpers, everything like in a common folder, and it should be fine. So another bonus that we did not take into account at the time, but which is really great, is when your app is a website, you can update it without going through the stores. So you can bypass Apple. Listen, that's great, because sometimes 1 week to release is very good. So in order to do all that, so we use Yarn workspaces. This allows us to share code across all our projects, and we have ESLint, Prettier, and everything. And to get this working with React Native was a bit annoying, because you have to like tweak all the metro configuration and get everything like configured properly. But once you did it, it's really nice to code and live in the same workspace as your website and all your components. So that's something that was like the base of how we architecture everything. So the plan was simple with the app. Let's make a native login. Let's make a register screen, and then there's just a WebView. And it was simple. Then I understood that our website was a single-page application built with React, and there was a React router to handle this. And you can't just update the URL to navigate. So the WebView only allows you, when you want to do stuff, to like just change the URL, and you think it's going to work, but if you do that, it's the same as reloading your website. So you lose like all your data, and everything is fetching on the network all over again. So when the user press a button, what you need to do is tell to the WebView to change the place where it is, but you can't update the URL. So you have to inject JavaScript to tell the WebView, please navigate to this page, because I have no other way to do it. So when we started thinking about that, we were like, OK, so we're going to establish a protocol to communicate between the WebView and the app. So how do we do that? We're going to use the WebView bridge. So now it's working. 2 years ago, it was kind of broken. But it's fine now. So you can just send strings. It's asynchronous, but who needs more? Like, you just stringify everything, parse everything, and you can send whatever you want. And so you just create not real like RFC or like way to communicate, but you just send message like navigate to this URL, and you give the URL, and it works fine. And so you can inject JavaScript if you want when the WebView loads, if you need to create helper, if you want to create all this. And once you create all this stuff, it's kind of easy. So doing what I showed you was OK. Like having one single page app and just button to navigate was good. But then it evolved. So we had to like alternate between native screen, WebView, and there was this setting button that would put a native screen on top of it, and then another WebView inside. And it started to get really complex to manage. And so the WebView needed to resize itself. And you can't have a WebView, put an active screen, and come back to a WebView. If you destroy your WebView, it's going to reload once again, because once your component unmount, you're going to lose everything. So I tried really hard to keep a WebView alive while doing other stuff on the app. I even fixed like portals in React Native. I tried to have a WebView at the top of the app and portal it, to teleport it anywhere on the app where I needed it. I fixed the portal, but the WebView still did not work. So pretty sad. Because honestly, I went into React to fix a bug because no one ever used portals with React Native. They are not even exposed with an official API, but they work. Just no one uses them, so there was a bug, but not for WebView. So we had to find something else. So our idea was we need to switch fast, to share events, even when the WebView is not shown, because imagine you have a user, you edit it on one side, and then you're on the WebView, and the data is out of sync. It's not working for you. So you need to resize the WebView depending on where it is, and you need to keep only one WebView. And our solution is not pretty, but it's really, really, really efficient. And that was, once again, the goal is to create an app as fast as possible from a WebView. So what we did is create one provider at the top, and consumer everywhere when we needed a WebView screen. So using React context, we are able to place in absolute positioning the WebView everywhere on the app, and declaratively use components to manipulate it. So how this works is we have one big component, the yellow one, this is a consumer. We render it anywhere we want, and it's going to communicate with the provider and say, OK, I need a WebView here to this URL, and please do some magic, and WebView is going to appear on top of your app. So with this, we could place WebView wherever we wanted, and things were pretty nice. And so when the consumer is unmounted, the WebView hides, and when it's mounted, it loads to the right URL. If you load another consumer, it sends a message automatically with the new URL and everything. Sorry, I'm speaking too fast. So the pros and cons of this solution. So great, WebView loads only once. It's super easy to add screens. It's easy to use React navigation. You just use isFocus props. You can sync all your data by sending messages. And the cons, it's absolute positioning, so it's kind of dirty, I think. And you're measuring a view and sending back its size to the provider at the top, so it's not great. And if you need to draw on top of the WebView with something else, it means it needs to be above in the tree, so it's kind of not working. And you cannot animate WebView because WebView size is depending on the children. So if you animate the children, the events will be too laggy to have something smooth. So you can't do much, but you can still display your WebView. And this is the part that we focused on. So let's demo this. And I hope this is going to work. OK, so let's get everything in place. Come on. If anyone knows how to easily select. Oh, come on. Not. Nope. Oh. Nope. It's in that. And let's try. OK, well. I did not think of this.
What you can do is resize your resolution. If you take the screen's resolution up to 180p. Oh, I don't know.
No. Just, it's.
If you display one and put it at 180p, you'll have a better.
Yeah.
Monitor.
and then select à la Rochelle. Not like this. Let me introduce this alt button.
Yeah.
Go here and always command button, whatever.
Sorry. Welcome to French.
Okay.
No,
Okay, let's just make this. Lose the space.
and
Nothing changes.
no, but
Do
don't,
it here. Oh no, that's.
no, but don't worry. I mean, we still see kind of like everything. I mean, just remove the notch and it's fine. Who needs this top part anyway? Whatever. So let's start. So I made the whole app using the Formidable Labs GraphQL API. They have something with dogs. I was like, okay, perfect. Let's just use this. So I'm just fetching like with GraphQL all the dogs, and you can see how many likes they got. And this is reset like every day. That's why there's so few likes, because who would not like Boba? And so this is how the screen would be. Oh, come on. I'm missing the menu at the bottom. Oh! Oh! Crazy. And so let's first start with using our website. So I did not even show you the website. Come. Sorry. This is the stress coming back. So we have a great website. Let's make it smaller. Okay. So we already have a website that's loading dogs, and that is a great design made by Adrien. Thank you. His challenge was use colors only with name. So he thought he had some trouble to make something looking great, but this is cool. So if you tap on a dog, you can just have some details. You can like it. And if you're lucky, more things will spin, but that's random. But okay, great. Whatever. So you have a website and you want to put it inside your app. So you take your app and you put your WebView inside. But then you need to show that it's, you need to sync the data, because if I like dog here, I need the same number of art to be on the other side. Come on. So if I like it here, sorry. I wanted this to be keep in sync with the native side. So you can see here that I'm able to like have the website inside, and if I can still update the navigation whenever the website changes. So this means like the bridge is working like correctly. And if I'm on a native screen, I can also go on a WebView screen. There's no like, you can mix all your screen however you want. So this like demo shows you that you can just like reuse everything you already done. And I'm going to show you like a bit of code now. So let's start at the entry point. Okay, so, sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna remove this. All good? So this is like the root of your app. So you have your provider for Apollo, for the data. And then you have this WebView provider that sits at the top. So above everything, because it needs to be like full screen to be able to like put the stuff at the right place. And then you have your main navigator, and let's go inside. Inside of this, it's just a classic Rec Navigation tab navigator. And for the WebView screens, I just declared everything inside screens.js. Sorry. So for the WebView screen, what I just need to do is this. This is how I integrated the WebView inside the website. So I just put a URL, a name, and that's all I need to do. Then this is going to generate components that I can import inside the navigator. And so I just put title, the screen. And how do I generate the screen with a consumer? So the WebView consumer is something that renders just a flex 1, does nothing else. On layout, it's just send its size to the parent. And every time it gets updated, every time it loses focus, every time all this stuff changes, it's going to notify the parent. And all the logic and all the event management is done inside what I call the WebView provider. So inside of this, you're just going to get like all the current children that are mounted, all their size, are they shown, are they hidden. And this is going to deal by itself with notifying the WebView when the URL change. For example, I have this hook where, like, if your consumer name change, just tell to the WebView by injecting JavaScript inside of it, URL change, and then that's just going to work on by itself. Sorry. In order to make this, you can see that we are sharing code inside this package. So all the network logic that we have was shared between the web and the native code. Sorry, this is too small. So this is this demo shows you how we've been able to integrate web pages that were great inside our app to get something that was seamless, very usable, because no user ever complained about the app being slow or whatever. I don't understand why, because for me it's a bit frustrating. But the app is really 4.8 by 800 people or something like this. So everyone likes it. So I think this shows that sometimes doing dirty stuff to hack and win time allows you to create an app with a lot of screens, keep the work you've already done, and finally, you can replace the screen one by one. You just share the network, and then you recreate your components, and you can move forward like this. And that's kind of all for me. So if you have any questions,